Something ended. You felt it before your mind could find the words for it. It didn't arrive loudly. It came in quietly, the way a season changes not all at once, but in small, subtle shifts that you couldn't ignore no matter how hard you tried. A restlessness you couldn't explain. A hollowness sitting in the center of your chest, even on the good days. A feeling that the life you had been living, the routines, the relationships, the version of yourself you had been carefully maintaining, had somehow, without warning, stopped fitting. Like wearing a coat you once loved but can no longer move freely inside of.
Still yours.
Still familiar, but slowly, unmistakably, suffocating you. And the most disorienting part wasn't the feeling itself. It was the silence around it. Because nothing had technically broken. Nothing you could point to and say, that is the problem. And yet everything felt different. Everything felt like it was quietly asking you to release it. That feeling has a name. And today you are going to understand exactly what it means. What you have been experiencing is not confusion. It is not a sign of failure. It is not God going silent on you or life turning its back on you. It is the sensation, raw, real, and deeply personal, of a chapter reaching its completion. Your old timeline closed. Not as a metaphor, not as poetry, as fact. The particular version of your life, with its particular relationships, its particular limitations, its particular story about who you were and what you were allowed to have, it reached its natural end. And what came after that ending, the grief, the disorientation, the strange in-between feeling of nothing quite landing the way it used to, that is not punishment. That is not evidence that something is wrong with you. That is what transformation feels like from the inside. That is what it feels like to be standing in the space between who you were and who you are becoming, between the door that is closed behind you and the one that is not yet fully opened in front of you. And that space, as uncomfortable and unmapped as it is not where you are lost. It is precisely where you are being made ready. Think about what has quietly ended in your life. The relationships that once carried warmth and began to feel hollow. The goals you pursued for years that one day simply stopped calling to you. The patterns you kept returning to, the same arguments, the same fears, the same self-limiting stories that finally, mercifully, ran out of power over you. You did not always choose those endings. Some of them chose you. Doors closed without your permission. Paths that seemed certain dissolved without explanation. And in the wake of each one, your mind went searching for what you had done wrong, why you were being left behind, whether you had somehow misread everything. But here's the truth your nervous system needs to hear. You did not misread anything. You outgrew it. There is a profound and life-altering difference between a life falling apart and a life falling into alignment. From the inside, they feel almost identical. Both carry loss. Both carry the frightening sensation of open space and no map. But one is collapse, and the other is liberation. What God has been doing in your life is not collapse. With surgical precision, and with a love that does not waver, He has been removing what was complete so that you could step, without distraction, without dead weight, into what is next. Nothing was wasted. Not the pain, not the confusion, not the years that felt like they led absolutely nowhere. Every moment of your old timeline was building something in you, shaping your character, deepening your capacity, teaching you what you needed to know so that what comes next does not overwhelm you, but fulfills you. The suffering was not punishment. It was curriculum, and you have completed it. But here is where the invitation becomes specific, because this is where most people get stuck. You cannot carry what was into what is. The version of life that is opening in front of you, the alignment, the peace, the relationships, the expanded identity, it was not designed to coexist with what you are still holding on to. The blessing on the other side of this threshold requires the room that only endings create. It requires a version of you who has genuinely, deliberately, and courageously let go. Not because letting go is easy. It is not. Some of what you are holding, you loved deeply. You built your sense of self around it. You prayed for it. You sacrificed for it. And it still ended. But hear this. The fact that it ended is not evidence that it was a mistake. It is evidence that it was complete. A book does not fail because the final chapter arrives. It completes. And what God is writing in the next chapter of your life, He is writing it with full knowledge of every page that came before. He knows the exact shape of the faith you maintained in seasons when maintaining it cost you something real. He knows the weight of what you quietly carried when no one was watching. And what he has prepared for you on the other side of this threshold is not a consolation prize for what you have lost. It is the thing the loss was always making room for. It was always leading here.
So, do not look back.
Not as a command delivered from a distance, as a whisper from something that loves you enough to tell you the truth. The life behind you has already given you everything it had. Every lesson, every scar, every gift, every quiet moment of growth that happened in the dark. All of it was given. All of it was received. And it is done. What is ahead of you has not yet begun to give. And what it holds, the clarity, the abundance, the deep relational peace, the version of yourself you have not yet had the chance to meet, surpasses what you are leaving in ways that would require living it to believe. You are standing at a threshold, not at a dead end. The disorientation you have been carrying, that strange, unmooring, nothing quite fits feeling, was never a signal to turn around. It was the unmistakable internal sensation of forward movement. Your nervous system registers growth as threat because growth is unfamiliar. But unfamiliar is not the same as wrong. And everything in you that has been trembling at the edge of this new space has been trembling not because you are in danger, but because you are expanding into something larger than your previous life had room to hold. The old timeline is closed. You cannot return to it. And when you truly understand, not just mentally but in the body, in the chest, in the quiet place beneath all the noise, that this is mercy and not abandonment, something releases. The grief does not disappear, but it changes character. It becomes something you can carry without being crushed by it, because you know now that you are not wandering through an ending. You are walking toward a beginning, and where you are walking leads somewhere extraordinary, somewhere specific, somewhere God has already prepared in detail far beyond what your current vantage point allows you to see. The door is not just cracked, it is open. And on the other side of it is a life that was designed for the version of you that only this season of letting go could produce. You are that version now. You have already done the hardest part. You stayed. You endured. You did not let the weight of the in-between destroy your belief that something better was coming. And that faith, quiet and costly as it was, is exactly what carried you to this moment. Right now, in the comments below, write your declaration. Not as a wish, not as a hope, as a claim. Write these words: I trust God to take me into my next chapter. Say it with the full weight of everything you have been through. Say it with the grief still present and the uncertainty still real.
Say it anyway.
Because this moment right now can be the exact moment you stop looking back. You are not alone at this threshold. What is ahead of you is worth every single step it took to get here. And it has already begun.